Moving on to Lecture 3, Exploring Moral Values, we talked about how when it comes to understanding moral motivations, the historic trajectory in moral psychology and philosophy has been a progressive march toward greater sensitivity about harm and justice. We covered psychologist Elliot Turiel's account of morality, which puts its focus on harm and injustice as central to morality. Turiel's investigations of morality defined morality as prescriptive judgments of justice, rights, and welfare pertaining to how people ought to relate to each other. Turiel's research used the moral conventional task, and he was able to determine whether a transgression and rules against it were moral or conventional. And he observed that there was a signature moral profile response pattern. This signature profile was that a moral transgression was seriously wrong. It was wrong, and that wrongness was serious. Its wrongness did not depend on authority figures. It was authority independent. It was wrong everywhere, in all circumstances. So it was general in scope, the wrongness. And the reason that it was wrong was that it was harmful or unjust, or it violated someone's rights. Prototypical moral transgressions include a child pushing another child off a swing, or a person hitting another person. By contrast, the profile for conventional transgressions was that they were considered less serious. Their wrongness was authority dependent. They were only wrong in some conditions. And they weren't considered wrong because someone was hurt or treated unfairly or had their rights violated. Prototypical conventional transgressions include someone talking out of turn in a class or at a presentation when they've not been called on, or someone wearing the clothing that's typically worn by someone of a different gender. But wait, the moral conventional distinction does not always hold. Many studies have found that in many societies, including our own, transgressions that do not involve harm or justice or rights do not evoke that response pattern typical of conventional transgressions. Rather, such transgressions evoke one or more of the signature moral responses, even though they're not about harm, justice, or rights. These transgressions are deemed very serious, wrong everywhere, and wrong even if you're following orders. As Jonathan Haidt's work shows us, a segment of participants, including low SES participants in Brazil and the US, actually do judge non-harm transgressions to be authority independent and generally applicable. US conservatives have also shown this pattern of responses. If some people believe that the transgressions other people consider conventional have the qualities of moral transgressions, then this is a challenge to Turiel's model. Here's a question. Turiel's influential research used the moral conventional task to determine whether and how transgressions involving harm, injustice, and rights violations differed from transgressions involving violation of social norms. Which of the following characteristics is not part of the signature moral response pattern? 1. The transgression is considered seriously wrong. 2. The transgression is considered wrong in all situations. 3. The transgression is considered wrong even if commanded by an authority. 4. The transgression is considered worthy of serious punishment. The answer is 4. The transgression is considered worthy of serious punishment. This is not part of the signature moral response pattern in Turiel's research. Instead, the first 3 are part of the signature moral response pattern. The transgression is considered seriously wrong, it's wrong in all situations, and it's authority independent. It's wrong even if commanded by an authority.